Okay, here we are in my dining room. You can see my garage. Look at, oh, and my American flag flew off. So I'm gonna have to go get another one, or I'm gonna have to retrieve it. Welcome to the Crack of Dawn from Dawn Lombardi's dining room. Can you believe it? I'm here. I don't know what to do today. So what happens is, so my sister's roommate and one of her best friends, Stephanie Nappy Lyons. She lives in Delaware. And she's like, Dawn, can you paint this? And I'm like, oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Can you paint it? I mean, because it's pretty easy. So she's like, well, I really want this watercolor drawing. So I don't have a picture of it right now, but I know that I looked at it and it had a blue line here, light blue on the top, wicked easy. Okay, so people at home doing watercolors, watercolors out of a tube are great. But even the watercolor that you get, you know, as a kid, those are fine too, okay? I have Arche paper, extremely expensive. Just for a thing of this is probably like $70. And my mom's friend years ago worked at a paper company, and actually she worked for Arche, so she gave me tons of it. So I have a lot in the basement. This is the best kind of paper you're gonna get. Super good. I don't do a lot of watercolors because guess what? You gotta frame them. You have to. And then if they sit around, they get all wrinkled and messy. So what we're gonna do, it's gonna be a little bit hard, but I'm gonna show you. Now this is what Steph likes. She's like, send me it, Dawn. I'm like, I will. It's so easy. Okay, so what you do is your horizon line, right in the middle. Now this is watercolor. Look at my pencil, doesn't even work. Get another one. So I'm gonna do a horizon line. And then on the bottom here, it looked like just a blue line here, okay? And the top is like light blue. And then she had some grasses and a few flowers on the bottom. Super easy. You don't even really have to sketch this, but I'm just gonna show you how to do a really simple watercolor, okay? Good paper, bad paper, doesn't matter, okay? No worries. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to point down so you can see what I've got here. I've got some green and some blue and some orange. I might need some yellow, and I've got some white, okay? Now, as I'm painting, I will show you what I'm doing, okay? Now, I have my camera up above because they do the selfies, so you look better if it's up high. So if it was low like this, you see all that, look at all this stuff. So people put it high, so they look great. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a brush up here where I'm pulling down. Okay, here's a bigger brush. I don't have cerulean blue in my watercolor collection, so it's gonna be a little different stuff, but she's like, oh, can you really do that? I'm like, oh, you can do it. Fantastic. Wonderful mug, Christmas present from Alexander, one of my first graders. So cute. I love it, Alexander. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to dip the brush into the water. That's why it's called watercolor. Okay? If you don't dip it in water and you just use the watercolors, it's called dry brush. Okay? So that kind of dries it along. I can show you, but I'll show you at the very end. Okay? We have about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to know, Brian, when to stop the video. I don't have much makeup on. No mascara, but I could cover these things up and all this stuff, but my friends tell me a couple little Botox things in there, you know, Simone, if you're listening. Shoot it up there, a couple there. Get rid of these lines here. So people are really getting that stuff. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna dip it in the water and I'm gonna add the blue. Now I want lighter blue, so all I do, just pick some white. Now I don't have fancy camera guys here anymore, it's just me, okay? So Steph, if you're watching, take the light blue and you're gonna whip it right across. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side of the paper because I don't want these lines showing, okay? So I'm just gonna whip it up myself. Now I'm gonna whip it up, whoops, wrong side. Whip it up. Okay, I'm gonna whip up the top. Kind of looked like this, Steph. So, I mean, you can do this. You don't even have to look. I mean, you can do a lesson with your first graders. I think she's fourth grade teacher, I forgot. But she is in Delaware. I don't know where. So you're gonna do the top, okay? Don't worry, lots of water, okay? She just likes a simple, she wants a simple, simple watercolor. Now in the middle, it's darker. So you're gonna put that line and you're gonna make it a little darker, okay? We've got some kids in the background. It's my kid's birthday today. 16, right James, 16? Okay, we're gonna go on the middle, it's gonna be dark blue, okay? And we're gonna go like that. I might bring it down a little longer, okay? Watercolors are super fun, okay? And I'm a loose painter. I don't really like going too wild with the colors. Yeah, no problem. It's bringing the trash out for me. Watch out for the bears. It's trash day, the bears come. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the blue down a little longer. I'm gonna go back into the light blue, which means you just add some white, throw that in there, okay? And if it doesn't come out great, Steph, I'm gonna do another special one. This is gonna be in the mail tomorrow. And I don't know what I'm gonna call it. You know what I'm gonna call it? The Steph Nappy Lions episode. It's fantastic. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is, I don't have any yellow, so I'm gonna go in, get some yellow. Make sure that it says watercolor on it, because sometimes I do this and it'll say oil, okay? Oil and water don't mix. But you know, I was watching Rachel Ray the other day, and she was making tuna casserole. And her hair was all matted, all here. Yeah, she was just in her kitchen in the quarantine, hair all matted. Her husband, John, was holding the camera, doing all of the filming. She didn't even care if she looked good or bad. So, I mean, you know, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to cover up all these wrinkles because this is what I look like. All right? Okay, so what we're going to do now, the picture that Steph showed me had, I might bring the blue down a little more, but the picture that Steph showed me had this green grass. So what I'm going to do is take some green. If you don't like the green, oops, it's dripping. If you don't like the green, if it's not the right green for you, remember blue and yellow make green. So anytime you add yellow to the green, it's going to make it a yellow, lighter green. And anytime you add blue to the green, it is going to make a darker. So I'm just going to stick with this. Maybe I'll add a little yellow, okay? So see what I mean? Adding a little yellow to that green makes it more like beach grass. Oh! So there's beach grass growing. I mean, I was like, Stephanie, you really can't do this? She goes, no. But now she will. So if you think you can't do stuff like this, remember, you don't want all the same color grass, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do is have a few different color grasses in there, because that's gonna make it more realistic, okay? Throw that grass in. These are easy. And a lot of painters, they make a lot of money doing this stuff. This is very easy watercolor. Here's my water up here, okay? I'm gonna keep going with the grass. Remember, make sure you make a few different color greens, because it's not all the same. And then just use, I have the same brush. I'm just going like this. Again, watercolors, you have to frame them. You can put a mat that goes around it and then just like put some plastic over it and sell it like that. But yeah, so great. Now, the flowers that she had on the top of these were like yellowish orange. So I'm gonna put some yellowish orange, but not yet, okay? I need some darker green. So if I add the blue to the green, look what happens. Blue, green, darker green, lighter green, add some more yellow, lighter, add some more white, and then you get a totally different. So your white is to lighten, okay, the hue, I think. Okay, so hope everybody's been great. I'm teaching online in Hartford. It's so fun. It's really easy, actually, but I'm learning Google Classroom. Feeling very special because it takes me a while to do these things. But my colleagues are great. The people I work with are great. The students are great. And everybody's working at it. So those of you who are teachers out there, thanks for doing all this, because it is hard to learn all this stuff, especially if you're over 35. Anybody under 30 or like 32, 31, they get it. They're just like, Google Classroom, I've never heard of it. Within an hour, no, within 5 minutes, they've got it. Me, no. So anyway, Steph, that's how you kind of start it, okay? It might not look exactly like yours. I'm gonna have to go look, but I don't have my phone and my thing handy. So she had these orange-ish yellow flowers. So I do have yellow here, and I've got orange here. So now I have some orange flowers. Now you're just gonna put those around, okay? You're gonna want some orange. Okay, see, Steph? Throw it in, it's not a big deal, okay? Of course, since I have this $1,000 paper that I'm using, it makes it more expensive because people are like, oh, it's arche. Wow. It could be arches, but I think it's arche in French. So you're gonna want some yellow, and you're gonna want some, let me get the tube of yellow back, okay? You're gonna put it in. So this is a really simple watercolor. You can do this on canvas with any kind of paint, but I'm just using watercolor because I knew right away when Stephanie sent it to me, she was like, can you paint this? And I was like, what? Yes, it's so easy. So, you know, hopefully it comes out good. But again, you don't want everything to be the same color. So I just added some more yellow with my tube of paint, and I'm gonna throw that in so that all the flowers are a little different, okay? You want it to go right into the ocean. Okay, it's kind of a nice, actually I'm glad she sent me this. Now it's dripping. It kind of looks cool, okay? And you want it to be really loose because watercolors are loose. You can get them tight. I mean, you can be tight with them. I'm not. Watercolors, I'm a pretty loose painter anyway. Not all the time because everybody's seen like my Patriots paintings, my horse races. All that stuff is very different than a watercolor, okay? It's very easy and very fun, okay? So you don't have to be good, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna add some more blue into my sky. So I'm gonna take my blue and I'm gonna take some white and I'm just gonna mix that around. Leave some white though, because the white is the clouds, okay? Doesn't matter if they're going straight across or perfect or anything. Just be loose and remember, lots of water, okay? So I'm gonna throw it in. If you need to get the white back, great, but most watercolor artists, they don't paint back in the white, okay? There's a tube of glue. It's a watercolor thing. Anytime you're painting something super fancy in watercolors and you're a little nervous that you're gonna get on something, you use your glue thing and actually you put it anywhere where the white is gonna stay. Okay, so if you're doing like something really, really complicated, you're gonna want that glue stuff and then you can paint right over it and then at the end you can peel off that glue and the white will still be there. I don't do that, I wasn't trained that way, but you can if you want. Yeah, I don't do that. So I'm just gonna add in some more white up here. Okay, I went right over the white. I just told you I wasn't gonna do that, but it works, see? You can leave the white of the paper. I mean, you can break the rules. A lot of watercolor artists, oh, you gotta leave the white. Never put white on top, but you know what? It doesn't matter, okay? So in the quarantine, I hope everybody's doing okay, by the way. We had a couple scares in our family, but everybody's all right. We're so grateful that everybody's okay. We've been super picky with my kids. I don't let them out. They can go outside in the backyard and stuff, but I don't like it. When I go to the store, oh, let me show you my mask. It's crazy. It's right here. So my mask is crazy. So when you're walking around, if you ever see me, you're gonna know it's me, because this is what I'm doing. See what I mean? I can breathe easier than the cloth one that my daughter made me. But I don't know if these are illegal or not because it's so nice, you know? So anyhow, I'll tell you how I got this. My husband has been selling paint for, about 25, 30 years. And in the paint store, they have these things. So this wasn't something that he just brought home a couple weeks ago or a month ago. This is something we've had because he bought it years ago. So when I walk into Nazzo's, everybody's like, oh, it's Darth Vader, you know? It looks crazy. Most people just have a little thing. So I feel a little bad. But, you know, hey, I've got one. So, I mean, I don't know if it's any better than any of those cloth ones that you're wearing, but this is what I wear. I look crazy. Please, like it's Star Wars. I'm like, I know. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna finish up this little watercolor. I think it's cute the way it is. Now, my clock says 14 minutes, which means we have another half an hour. Remember, I'm very picky about signatures. So, like, if someone takes black and they write Dawn Lombardi in black, guess what? It's going to take away from everything. So what you want to do is just do it lightly. And I see this, even the one Steph sent me. I think it was a bigger, not to be mean, but it was a bigger signature in the corner. You really don't want to spend too much attention on your signature. So I'm going to show you what I do. Then it kind of, yeah, you can still see it. First time I wrote 2020 on a painting, I think. Okay, so you can see what I did. I just put it in pencil, okay? And then if you back up, it doesn't really take away from my drawing. So a lot of times I'll see these really, really great artists and then they write on the bottom, you know, Dawn Lombardi in black, and it's not a good idea, okay? Sort of like a doctor doesn't do the script, they just whip it up. Okay, so this is kind of a quick watercolor that's fun. I have another watercolor paper that's the other half of this paper because I did this. Okay, I split it in half. Okay, so I have another piece over here. And you know what? I'll do another one because some people might be just tuning in and they're like, wait, how did she do that? And I'll show you, okay? We'll do another one. It might come out different than the other one, but that's why they call it a series. So a series is when you do, you know, generally the same subject matter, but you do a whole pile of paintings of the same subject matter. That's called a series. People have been like, Dawn, your hair. I'm like, really? I do it myself. I just take bleach with a toothbrush and I palm it in. And then I take this blue stuff, because my hair is dark. So when you put bleach into dark hair, guess what color it turns? Orange. So then I take this blue stuff. It's 25 bucks, but you put this blue stuff. Remember, I told you before, blue and orange are complementary colors. So when you put blue, and like my hair is orange, this is awful. You take the blue stuff and you put it over the orange, and it neutralizes it, okay? So when you are, I know that. I could be a hairdresser. I knew that right away. I was like, I bet you're gonna give me some blue stuff, aren't you? And she's like, yep, it's 25 bucks though. So it's called toner, okay? I'm not great at hair, but I recommend Gino from the gallery. They'll treat you like magic, and they'll also give you some quarantined hair color. So you just pull up to the gallery and they throw it in your trunk. A lot of places have been really good about doing that. I'm pretty picky about where I'm going, so I'm trying to avoid crowds. So what I do is if I drive by a store and there's like too many cars, I won't go. But you know, my friend Meg's a doctor, and she's like, Dawn, just follow the rules and you're not gonna get it. I'm like, really? She's like, don't worry. Just be careful. Keep yourself clean. You know, keep your hands out of your face and wash your hands. And I'm like, really? And I mean, you know, she's in a hospital all day long, and her husband. So thanks so much, you guys, for doing what you're doing. There's a lot of frontline workers, CVS employees, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's. I don't care who you are, but the doctors and nurses, yeah, it's a little step up. So anybody out there working, thank you, because I get embarrassed even going to CVS today to get, what did I need? Chocolate milk. I mean, do I really need that? But it was my kid's birthday and he wanted chocolate milk. So I went in and, you know, I get nervous, so I don't really like to go out. And I'm not a hermit, you know, so yeah, I don't like to go out. Let's do another one. Blank piece of paper, Arche paper. Now, if the paper says Arche, I'll show you. It usually does. Hold on, I don't know if this does. My stuff downstairs does. Usually, no, this doesn't. Usually there's a black, this is probably not as good as my paper downstairs. But usually, if you look up close on the bottom here, it'll say Arche. Okay, it's kind of like printed in. And I usually leave that on the front. I don't flip it over, because then people know that I used fancy paper. So, I mean, whether or not it makes the price go up is one thing, but it still looks nice. So if you're using Arche paper, use the side that says Arche. And then if it is Arches, please call me and tell me that I got it wrong. But I think it's Arche, you know? I think it's French. Yes, made in France. It's gotta be Arche, yeah. So this is good stuff right here. Yeah, Moulin à papier Arche. Okay, I'm not the greatest at French, but there we go. Okay, so we're gonna do another one. We'll try to make it a little different than this one. This is going to you, Steph. You can have it. Let's, if the next one comes out better, you can have that one. Okay. So everybody, I hope everybody's good. We're going to try to do an episode outside of Eleanor's window. Wouldn't that be so cool? Eleanor's 102 and lives alone. So if you're sitting there and you're scared to death because you're alone and you're like, I just don't want to get this, I hear you. I'm with you. But I do think about Eleanor a lot, and then the fact that she lives alone. Her kids are wonderful to her, and great family, carpenters, okay? So I'm gonna do another one. Next time, I'm gonna do something really easy. I used to work at a place called Paint Night. April Raymond, she was great. Yeah, it was fun. So I got a whole pile of people, but it's not her fault, you know? You try to teach what you're gonna do. And so anyway, this is good paper. So I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna make this one a little different, and then I'll show you when we're done. So fun, okay? So I'm gonna, again, I've got my palette here. It's kind of a mess. These are the throwaway palettes, but don't worry, just get a paper plate. You can even, with watercolors, since it's water, you can use a regular plate that you would eat on, because it's not oil paint, you're not using turpentine. Even if you were, you could still use oil, you just have to wash the dish off with some turpentine. But the watercolor's harmless, okay? So if you wanna just use a white dish out of your cabinet, just make sure that you rinse it off pretty much right after you're done with the painting. Okay, because it's watercolor, it's water-based, so it's gonna come off. So I'm gonna start again. Oh, so exciting. Can't wait to come back to Nutmeg TV. They asked me if I wanted the cameras to be dropped off, and I was like, oof. You know what? I think I can do it from my phone. So I'm doing it. Big shout out to Bridget Gleason, a photographer friend of mine, shooting up shots in New York City. Unbelievable photography. Bridget Gleason, just look her up on Instagram. Amazing. Okay. It's kind of fun. I noticed that when Steph sent me that picture, there was a blue line in the middle, a really dark one. So I'm gonna make that blue line. Maybe this will be better than the other one. Remember, tons of water, okay? Lots of water. That's why it's called watercolor, okay? So I'm gonna throw that in the sky. It's a different color. If I had a couple different color blues, again, I'm gonna show you what dry brush means. With no water, if you drag a brush across, it creates a dry brush effect, okay? If you add water to that, there's no dry brush involved. It just waters it down. Okay, so a dry brush is a very fancy technique. I did not learn watercolors at Boston University. They didn't teach that. And they didn't teach acrylics either. And no black allowed. So we had only oil paints. I don't even think we used cheap stuff. I think we had to use certain stuff. It depended. But again, I'm gonna do the sky. Leave some white. Don't worry about drips. Okay, easy, Stephanie. She can do this with her classmates. I mean, her students when she gets back. And I don't know what grade she teaches, but she has to do all this stuff. So when you're going to be a teacher, you know, if you're gym, music, art, that's different. But when you're a 4th grade teacher, you have to teach all of it. You have to teach science, English, math, the entire curriculum. So I'm kind of glad I'm an art teacher. Okay, so we're going to go in. We're going to put some of this down here. Don't worry if it blends together. It's kind of fun. Okay. Blend it down there, okay? Sometimes it makes some cool swirls, like right there. I didn't even mean for that to happen, but that's what makes art so fun. And this is easy, okay? Watercolors are great. You could get that little tray. It's like $1.50 at Walmart. That's what we use at school. These are Ocean State Job Lot. They're super cheap. Doesn't really matter. Or you can go up a notch. The more you spend, the better the paint you're gonna have. Just like clothes or anything else. Okay, speaking of which, I have the Wild Hack collection on again. Put that in there. Okay, we're gonna move it around. Been doing some Zoom with my friends. It's kind of fun. And I do Zoom all day long at school. And the kids are good. The kids are really good. It's easy. There's no interaction like it there is personally. So it's a little tough. You know, 26 kids in a class and they all log on. Usually they don't because, you know, times are tough. Not every kid has their own computer, and usually sometimes there's one computer in the house. So these kids have to, it's gonna close it out with my Sharona. Okay, we're just gonna go in and we're gonna put the grasses. 23 minutes we've been on. So Brian, Chris Bennett, Joni, all the people at Nutmeg TV have been so good to me. Thank you so much. And all the shows are really, really good. So, you know, you got to tune in. Especially for those of you at home that don't have cable. I don't want cable, but my family likes all the sports and all the stuff. I just like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. I told you that before. That's it for me. I don't get Tiger Man, Tiger, what's it called? Tiger something. I don't get that. But watch The Incoherence. You got to Google it. My friend Alex, he's an actor from New York City. His dad was Robert Grossman, famous artist. Sister Lila, one of my best friends in the whole world. Wicked talented family. But he is starring in a movie called The Incoherence. And Alex was a rock star. And he always wanted to be a rock star until he switched over to being, we're going to do the grass next. Then he switched over to being a musician. No, to be an actor. So now he's an actor. And The Incoherence is a good movie. And it's all about his life trying to become a rock star with his friends. Now he's an actor. It's pretty cool. But he's still a rock star. I'm going to put the grass in. Just do some, I'm doing the whole brush, the same brush, okay? See, I can make lines like this, or I can make skinny ones like that. Okay, some people will fill in the whole thing green, and then they'll go over it with a darker green. There's so many ways to do it. As my friend Marcia said, there's 100 ways to skin a cat. And I was like, oof, never heard that before. Okay, so we're gonna put the grass in. Be loose or not be loose. You don't have to. You can go slow. You can go, like I said before, some people will put the light green in the background like this. They'll do the whole thing so they don't have any white showing. And then they'll take a darker green and they'll go over that, okay? And then I still have room for flowers. I might make a different kind of flowers this time, okay? Beach grass goes over the water. These are just simple little things. You can do a whole bunch of them, okay? I'm gonna do the bottom. You can hear my kids are up there. They're doing okay, you know. I'm glad I don't have anxious kids. No anxiety problems. We're lucky. Feel bad for people that don't. So, you know, it's hard to keep everybody happy when you're stuck at home. We're kind of homebodies over here, except for me. But yeah, they don't mind. So again, I want to make sure that I fill in all of this grass, and then we have about 5 minutes left. It's so great, and then we'll do another episode. Okay, so you're gonna fill this in. Okay, and you know, you can do this at the bottom if you want to. It doesn't matter until it looks good. Okay, and then the flowers that Stephanie sent me were orangey yellow. So people are like, what do I do with that? And I'm like, you just mix orangey yellow. So I have it. Look at orangey yellow. It's fantastic. So I'm just gonna mix orange and yellow, and I'm gonna leave some of the orange and the yellow. And the flowers are right on the top here. They're just blobbed on. Really easy. The picture she sent me was really easy. But you know, a lot of people think, they're like, I can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You know, you just need a teacher. A lot of people need a teacher. Okay? So these times are tough. Okay? So remember, don't get depressed, stay healthy, stay safe, keep washing your hands. A lot of times, I used to do this. I'm not gonna do it now because I don't know the last time I washed my glasses, but even when I'm out, I realize that I'm touching my glasses. So sometimes a lot of people, what they do when they're trying to hold their glasses is they put it in their mouth. I don't do that anymore. So remember what you're touching, what you're holding. I'm like crazy. My hands are like dry as a bone here. Fingernails are a mess. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna try to do another episode back to back because we need some shows on TV. And I'll give you a little glimpse outside. You got the bears. They come and attack the trash cans, but I don't see them out there tonight. Let's see if they're out there. Nope. But they were here today, and there's 3 of them, and they're huge. It's a mother and 2 babies. So again, don't feed the bears because they will come. So we don't have anywhere to put our trash cans. Everybody's like, put them in the garage. And I'm like, I don't have a garage. My garage is my bedroom. Oh, you wouldn't know it until you open the door. So thanks for tuning in. And Brian, thanks for editing. Thanks so much for putting up with me at home. Usually I get to come down to the studio. It's so much easier. And for those of you watching, thanks so much. Get some watercolors. Get that little junky one from Walmart. That's all you need. It comes with a crappy brush like this. Don't worry. Okay, all you need is a cup of water. And you don't need R-shaped paper. Now, if you notice, quickly, look what happens to my paper. That's because the water, okay? So that's why watercolors have to be framed, okay? They flatten them out, they stick them on a piece of paper, they make it look really nice, and with the correct framing, this could be beautiful. But this is not a total masterpiece, but it's great. So, Stephanie, I hope you like it. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.